Hey everyone, Leslie Spicer here from Balanced Bodies Studio. I'm here with one of my newest, actually, FST clients, Bree, and I am here specifically to talk about, like my caption says, about my most recent treatment that I'm going to be offering, which is for specifically the lower leg and feet, because the foundation of all our movement comes from our feet. So if we're imbalanced with our feet, if we're tight in our feet, if we don't have a lot of mobility in our feet, that's going to affect all of our joints moving up. So I wanted to take some time to talk with Bree about her experience over the last couple sessions that we've had. And, I know we're both very busy. So Bree, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to do this for me. But I did want to talk to you because you had a pretty substantial result in just a couple sessions. So I wanted to share that with people so they can kind of know what they can expect if they decide to do this treatment. So first off, guys, so Bree actually had come to me a couple months ago. This is before I went for my level 4. And she did like the whole total body stretch. So Bree, do you want to talk about what your results were there, how you felt going through it for your first time?
Yeah, so I think the first time there's obviously some nerves, not sure exactly what to expect. I think that day I felt like it was way better than what a massage would have been in terms of how the overall body felt. We didn't focus on the foot pain at that time. So that's where like the really great results came in. But I enjoyed it overall, the first one, and it felt really good.
Awesome. Yeah, and that's usually, it's very normal to feel nervous. A lot of people feel nervous doing this fascia stretch treatment because they're like, what is it, first of all? Never been
Yeah.
stretched before on a table. But like I said, every single person that I've had has gotten some kind of benefit from it. So obviously you were hooked on it. I think you even told
Yeah.
your husband, like, you got to try this
Yes.
kind of thing.
Yes,
So
definitely.
yeah, so that was great. So then now let's fast forward to about just under 2 weeks ago, we went to Nashville together. And you had mentioned about your foot pain. I don't know what we were talking about.
Okay.
That my feet are really hurting. I
Yeah.
literally just come back from my level 4 like 3 days prior to that. So for those of you that don't know, I'm recently certified in level 4 in sport fascia stretch therapy. So it's currently the highest level that you can get right now. And one of the areas that we really focused on, like I'd mentioned before, is is the lower leg and the feet. In previous levels, we didn't really focus on that so much. We did some calf work, we did some stuff, but not getting into the joints, the little joints that are in our feet, and getting into all of the musculature of the lower leg. So I didn't have all my equipment, didn't have all my little tools there in Nashville, but I said, let me try, let's do some of the things that I can do. We made a table out of some,
Yeah.
what do you call those? Like recline,
Patio furniture.
patio furniture.
Yeah.
I did as much as I could. It was probably about, I want to say it was probably about 20 to 25 minutes, maybe
Yeah.
half an hour. I didn't really keep track, but it was no more than half an hour of work that we
Yeah.
did. And let's talk about, so before I got you to kind of stand before I did any
Yeah.
work. And what, do you remember kind of what you felt before I started working on your feet?
Yeah. I think you had me standing and like turning my head each way. And then I could feel it in like the outside of my legs and in certain parts of my feet. I can't remember exactly which parts now, but definitely on the outside of the legs is where I was feeling it a lot.
Yeah, I think that the main thing that I remember it wasn't balanced. First of all, it wasn't balanced
Yes. Right.
throughout
That's
your
correct.
foot, right? Like you
Right.
had some spots,
Yes.
I think it was more your outer foot that you were feeling more pain. You weren't
Yes.
feeling so much a sensation on the inner part of your foot, and then one foot felt it more than the other. That was just generally
Yeah.
kind of it's just imbalance. So did our thing, and then you stood up, and what was your first kind of
Yeah, instant relief. So the foot pain was really getting to me when we were in Nashville. You're doing a lot of walking, even though I brought my runners, we were still out and walking a lot. Um, and there's a lot of overall pain and then immediate relief after the session. Even during the session, like I could feel relief coming in. So that was really great. And then I had the rest of the trip had very, very minor pain, if anything, but I don't even really remember having a lot of foot pain after that first quick session.
yeah, that was great. And sorry, I don't know if we mentioned this. How long have you been having that pain for?
I think it came on like a few years ago. I started to notice it. So it's been a while now.
In a while. So that was awesome. And to be perfectly honest, I don't usually tell people what to expect because everybody's body is different. How long
Mhm.
the treatment will last, what they might feel afterwards. We kind of let the body tell us what it's going to do, and then based on that, I tell people what they need to do moving forward. But what the cool part was is I asked you. I honestly thought because you had been in pain for that long and I didn't do everything that I usually would have done. For sure, I thought for the rest of the day you would have felt good, and maybe the next morning or the next day you would have started for it to come back, and did it?
No, no, I had like 5 full days before it started to come back. And I think also with consideration that we were walking so much and on my feet a lot more than just a normal day at home, I thought that was like pretty remarkable. So it was into like the 6th day where I started to notice it coming back.
Yeah. So the nice thing is you're in Brockville and I come home once a
Mhm.
month. So
Yeah.
I'd happen to be coming home that following week for Thanksgiving. And I said, why don't you come
Yeah.
in when I'm back and we'll do the full lower leg, the full foot, using all my
Yep.
tools. Even got into some of the other stretches as well, because as you guys all know, if you know anything about fascia following me, fascia is not divided into different compartments. It's fascial lines. So I could be working on your feet and you could feel it up in the shoulder and things like that. So, and then so we did that. And how did you feel after that session?
Yeah, it's amazing. And it's been no pain since, which is so great. And then you also had me using the toe stretchers. So I used my little toe stretchers after the treatment and every day since. And that's been going really well too. But that the session in Brockville, like the in-depth one, was great. You really, really got in there with all of your tools. There were some painful moments or some moments that were uncomfortable, not painful. But I think that it made a pretty substantial difference and it's feeling really, really good.
Awesome. Awesome. So yeah, so you brought up another piece to this. So, and I always say this with my clients, I can only do so much on the table. I can provide a lot of relief, but it really is what you do in between the sessions that's going to provide with the long-term result, right? So if you don't do anything in between, it's almost like sometimes people are starting over when they come back and see me, especially if they're only seeing me once a month or once every 6 weeks, whatever the case may be. So the homework is really important. Now, the one piece of homework that I gave you, which you've been doing, is the toe spacers or the toe stretchers,
Mhm. Yeah.
which is great, and everybody needs them. Whether you have foot pain or not, I use them as a preventative tool. And those of you that know me, I talk a lot about using these preventative tools so you don't get to the point of pain, discomfort, and specifically the feet plantar fasciitis, which is becoming more and more common, and that's due to tight calves, tight feet, and all the things, wearing tight shoes, right? And not stretching out the feet. So we want to avoid that as much as possible. So, over the next, few days, I'm going to be sending, Bree some other stuff that she can do at home. Now, obviously, the more you guys do at home, like I said, the longer your results are going to last. But those toe spacers are a game changer. Even when I started using them, they weren't the most comfortable thing. So I obviously had some tight feet stuff going on. But now when I do use them, 2 or 3 times a week, I don't have any pain. It's just to kind of keep everything, your feet nice and loose and mobile. So I want to thank you, Bree, for taking the time. I really appreciate you
Thanks.
sharing your results. And I wanted to do this, like I said, because moving forward, this is going to be a specific treatment that I am going to offer for people, a half-hour session where we just focus on the lower leg and feet, because like I said, it is the foundation. And then when you get that all settled, then we can, you can start working on other areas of your body as well. So, oh, actually, the one thing that you mentioned, so when you were using your toe spacers, you said you were feeling
Yes.
it in other spots, right?
So on the yeah on because and in line with the imbalance, the way I was feeling things before, it was the right calf or my right leg on the outside. I could really feel it there, and then I could also feel it in one foot more than the other, and I can't remember which one now, but it was definitely not equal across the feet and the legs. So
Yeah,
feeling different.
yeah. So that's just a showing you how fascia really works. And we were messaging about that because you were kind of worried
Mhm.
about. And I said, no,
Right.
that's yeah, all that is just showing us where your restrictions are. So what I would say is if you're feeling that in the calf, that means you need to roll the calves out, right? You need to roll that leg.
Okay.
We'll talk about that more obviously in your program, but fascia doesn't lie. So even if I'm stretching your feet or your hips or whatever it is, and you might feel it in your shoulder, your lower back, even up into the occipitals of your head, because that's how fascia works. It's all different fascial lines. If you guys can see behind me, right? These are all the different fascial lines in our body. So when you work on the hip, it's hitting pretty much all the fascial lines. So if you have any restrictions anywhere, you might not necessarily feel it where I'm stretching you, but it's still working up the fascial line. So just wanted to talk about that a little bit, because that is, again, another point of people are like concerned about that. And I'm like, no, that's a good thing. That's just telling us where we need to focus our attention. So it's not necessarily the hip that's tight and causing the pain or discomfort. It's upwards, up somewhere along the line of the fascia. So again, Bree, thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and I'm looking
Thank
forward to our next
you.
session and continuing on getting those amazing results so you don't have to experience any foot pain anymore.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to it. And I think everyone should give it a try. It's definitely worth it.
Thank you. Awesome. All right, guys, Leslie from Balanced Bodies. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Even if you just want to do a quick little conversation about it, how I can help you in different areas, whatever you're experiencing, I would love to have a conversation about that. So have a great day and we'll see you soon.